if you are betting on PulseChain outperforming ProveX, or you think that Richard Hart is not going to pump ProveX, you are about to make the most expensive mistake of this entire bull run. Stay with me, smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, share this video, because by the end of this video, we are going to break down numbers. You are going to understand why I am more bullish on ProveX. All right, you are going to understand why ProveX is the most high potential crypto that Richard Hart have ever launched. Let's get into it. I don't want to waste your time. Let's talk about the PulseChain sacrifice. Let's go back to PulseChain sacrifice. What happened then? When Richard Hart initiated PulseChain sacrifice, Richard Hart raised $320 million. The hype was enormous. The expectation was large. People who miss out on Hex went out, all of them sold their houses. Some people borrowed money. I know some guys who take a loan of $200,000 just to sacrifice, because he said, oh, this is a guarantee. Oh, look at what Hex did. And by the end of the day, when 230,000 people get together and raise $320 million, it become large. To move the market become a thing of hard something to do, because it needed a large sum of liquidity to move the market, because the market was very large already. Now let's go to ProveX. ProveX sacrifice raised about $16.4 million. Now, here what most people get wrong. They look at ProveX sacrifice because it's small. They think, oh no, this sacrifice fund is just $16 million. Oh, look at it. Richard Hart used to raise $1 billion. Oh, look at it now. Because it have low sacrifice fund, about 16 point something million dollars. People think it have a less conviction, but that is wrong. That's actually a good thing for ProveX. That is the best. If ProveX would have raised $100 million or $50 million, I would have sold everything and get out of Richard Hart ecosystem, because I know there's no way I'm going to get rid of it. But that's a good thing. Here, what actually happened with PulseChain, Richard Hart have already injected about $20 million of his own liquidity to support PulseChain ecosystem. And what did the community do? They dumped on him. They dumped it even to a new all-time low as of yesterday. It went to a new all-time low 2 days ago. Imagine the $20 million that Richard Hart put is gone. Money have already been born. No, let's not talk about. Let's just not pretend like we haven't. PulseChain haven't even. Richard have not even tried. He have injected $20 million. The community dumped it to a new all-time low right after launch. So you want Richard Hart, a man who have poured in $20 million and watched the community sell on him, to come back again and pump the same coin? Why he have a flesh 16.4 million sacrifice fund that barely anybody is talking about it? Think about it. Which project is easier to pump? Which project need a less capital to move the price? Which has the most upside potential? Which one have the most upside potential? That's one thing you have to ask yourself. Now, every single time, it's going to be ProveX. Every time. ProveX beat PulseChain at every time. Tokenomics wise, less backholders, less market cap. Even the technology behind ProveX, P2P decentralized exchange, is beyond. Everybody can use it. Solana ecosystem, everybody. But PulseChain is limited to only PulseChain ecosystem. Now let's do this math. Let's learn this math. Stay with me. I want us to learn this math. If you put $6,000 into PulseChain today, and the PulseChain return back to elitists to sacrifice price, that would be $2.2 billion market cap, or $1.6 billion thereabout. I don't know the actual token integration supply now because of the buy and burn. I don't know the exactly one, but let me place it at $2.2 billion. That's just getting back to break even. So most people have not bought PulseChain after sacrificing because they are to lose. So if their money return back to sacrifice price, they will say, "Oh, at least I have getting back my money that I sacrificed in 2021." That is $2.2 billion. That is after funding 99% deep. That just getting break even is not a perform. That is still put PulseChain to a horrible performance after 5 years. Now take that $6,000, put it to ProveX. Now if that money leads to no, if that money, if that $100,000, if that $6,000 you put on PulseChain get to there, do you know how much you will have? You will have $100,000. Now that is just 16x or 14x. Now I want you to take that the same $6,000 now, that use that money, put it in ProveX. Put it in ProveX. And if ProveX get to 2 billion or 3 billion market cap, thereabout, that your $16, that your $6,000 that you want to put on PulseChain will worth $1 million. That is almost 166x. Same time horizon, 10x more money, and ProveX lists 3 billion market cap. It is very easy than PulseChain listing 2.2 billion market cap, because ProveX starts with a fraction of a penny with a tiny market cap. Based on the math, you have to do the math, all right? Based on the math that I do, for ProveX to do a 3 billion market cap is much easier than PulseChain doing a 3 billion market, a 2 billion market cap. Do you know why? Now I told you, if Richard Hart ingested that the same exact $20 million that he put on PulseChain and they dump on him, guess what? If he put that $20 million on ProveX, ProveX will most likely to go to 100x. That is just like Richard Hart putting $320 million that he received on sacrifice fund into PulseChain. I want you to understand this. For Richard Hart to pump ProveX, it's just like easy something to him. It's just like sleeping and waking up. Nothing. You have to understand very well that he's going to pump it. And some of you will look at this price and say, "Oh, look at this price. Oh, look at this price." Bitcoin is dumping. A land war is escalating. Fuel price is rising. Inflation data is rising again. So we are in a tougher, crazy period right now. And again, the whales there's a one whale that sold about 700 million worth of ProveX. All right, that is $40,000 in value. It's actually a good thing. Imagine that whale selling at $107 million, nuking the price. So, but now he sold here, he just moved the price down to 2%. And now, what happened to that 700 million? 40 people will come and buy it $1,000. At the end of the day, they will have 20 million token or 1 million token. And if they have 1 million token, 20 million token, 40 people, if you get to 100x, most likely they are not going to sell. They are going to hold to 1000x. It's actually a good thing. They are the few wells that have, it's not well. I'm not calling somebody that have $40,000, $100,000 well. He's not well. So the few people that have this money, they are existing now, which is a good thing for ProveX. Now think about it. Richard Hart have incentive. You have incentive to pump this market. You have the money to flood into this market. You have $600 million in Ethereum. He lays $16.4 million on ProveX sacrifice, and this is his ecosystem. This is his reputation. This is his own brand. He put his life online. Everything is at stake. You think he will abandon ProveX, a tiny market cap that have a maximum room to run, to pump a $320 million crypto, where he have already put $20 million and the community dump on him? That would be insane. That would be like a chef abandoning a fresh dish to heat a leftover that already get cold once. So you have to understand that ProveX is a fresh dish, and Richard Hart is not going to abandon a fresh dish like ProveX and go and cook portion that already dumped on him and watch the community dump on him again, and they will say, "Oh, look at this one." No, he's not going to do that. I want you to understand this thing in a I want you to, in a logical way. I want to explain it like a 5 years old child for you to understand. ProveX is like a loyal wife at a critical moment, at a bottom of Richard Hart, the worst time of his life. 7,000 people believe in him and give him $16.4 million. You think he will abandon these people? PulseChain sacrifice is just like a gold digger, just like a wife that love you because you have money. PulseChain sacrifice happened because 10,000x on Hex. People were looking for money. Expectation was high. And that's why they didn't get the expectation. They are not loyal enough. They started foreign Richard Hart, calling him a scammer. Oh, you're a scammer. Because they are gold diggers. But when it comes to ProveX, these people, they saw Richard Hart failed. They saw him being wanted. They saw him failed for complete 5 years. They still give him $16.4 million. And you think he's going to leave this ProveX and pump PulseChain? You are joking. You are completely joke. I want you to understand this. That's why men value women who stay with them when they have nothing. When they have something, they spoil them. This is the story of ProveX. So Richard Hart value ProveX more than PulseChain, more than anything in his ecosystem, because these people that believe in him, these people that put money on ProveX, is people that trust in him. You can't tell me otherwise. All right? Now, let's look at it this way. You are still waiting for PulseChain to do 100x before PulseX move. That's like waiting for the last slice of a pizza at a party when everybody have already eaten it. You have to wake up to reality. So if you think, oh, look at it now, PulseChain is sitting at 7.5, it's sitting at 7.2, PulseX is ProveX is dumping, you are just not seeing the reality. And those people who are selling here thinking, oh, we are looking the price, you are not looking anything. This is a $20 million market cap. It's now 17 million. You are not looking at anything. There's no enough ProveX in the secretion supply. Even the website, look at the website. The app is still in a beta phase now. I mean, it's still in trial. It have not fully launched. All right, it have not fully functioned launch. So you have to wake up to the reality. When it's fully functioning and it launch, do you know what is going to happen? Do you understand what is going to happen? I don't know if you understand. My network is frustrating. I don't know if you understand what is going to happen. So we are saying in a better ProveX website, the function, the utility have not even emerged. People have not started to using the utility. I'm just telling you the math behind it. Let's combine it with the utility and everything. It's going to be insane. You must get your hand on ProveX. I am begging you for the last time. You must get your hand. Don't let them shake you. You are getting it like a good deal here. Now, I want to be crystal clear. I want to make this bold claim. PulseChain is not dead. Hex is not dead. PulseX is not dead. The entire ecosystem will have its moment. But one project is going to outperform everything. Not just in the Richard Hart ecosystem, but it's going to outperform everything. Not just in DeFi. It's going to outperform everything in cryptocurrency right now. ProveX is likely going to outperform everything as I'm talking to you now. All right? That project is very, very tiny, and they have a tiny market cap and a tiny sacrifice fund late. And the founder with a maximum money with about a founder with $650 million that have $650 million. So think about it. If Richard Hart can raise $25 million on Hex sacrifice and pump Hex to 10,000x, what makes you think that him having $650 million again in 2020, in 2021, Richard Hart did not have $650 million, so but he managed to pump Hex to 10,000 Hex to 80 billion market cap. And you think that the same guy have now more money, less market cap than Hex, will not pump it to 100S? Bro, this is a guaranteed win. This is a win that is guaranteed. Just put $5,000 here, $6,000 here. Just go and sleep, come back in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. Likely you are going to be a millionaire. But if you keep that $6,000 in the bank, in the next 10 years, you are not going to be a millionaire. This is a risk that is worth taking. Guarantee. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm telling you what will happen. To make it, the math is just simple. $6,000 to $1 million is guaranteed on ProveX. The project is very most likely going to go to that number that I'm telling you now. And if you are in or lady on ProveX, I want you to comment ProveX. Let me know that you are with me, that I'm going to connect with you when I become wealthy. Because I know that I'm going to be a millionaire. So when I started traveling around the world, going around the globe, I want to go to France, I want to go to a lot of country. So I want to have a community of people who become a millionaire, so that when I arrive in France, you will come and pick me with your limousine, with your Lamborghini. If I arrive in London, you will pick me with your Lamborghini. We stay, we chill, you know. You come to Nigeria, I pick you up with my limousine, with my Hummer, with my Range Rover, with my Lamborghini, with a private jet, and we chill. This is a life I want to create. This is why I created this YouTube. I didn't create this YouTube to monetize it. No, I'm not monetizing anything. I want to build a community of people who are going to be wealthy. So comment ProveX. Let me know how many of you who is understanding this. And make sure you share this post. I want to get to more Leo ProveX holders who believe in the vision of Richard Hart, who can analyze this thing very well and understand that we have guarantee 100S that is looking at us. I'm not talking about 100S. I'm just saying 100S is just simple. That is the simplest thing that can happen on ProveX. But I'm talking about 10,000S, 5,000S, 2,000S is very realistic on ProveX. Let me tell you, for ProveX to do a 5,000S, you just need 20 billion. For ProveX to do a 1,000S, you just need a 20 billion market cap. And for ProveX to do a 10,000S, you just need a 320 billion market cap, which is very realistic. I'm not a financial advisor, but you have to recognize this pattern. You have to understand this. You have to analyze this. You have to be logical. This is a common sense. You have to. This is very common. I don't understand when people are arguing over this. You have to understand this. It's very common. And I will leave it here. Get your hand on ProveX before it's too late. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.